Good morning, Rogan. Espada, good morning, good morning. Oh, it's all good. I mean, being grateful for hybrid is pretty good. I think that's the norm. And it's all right. But tuning in, even on days when you work from home, that still means a lot. Thank you. Give me 1 second. Right now, setting up the stream with something. My bad. I realized something stopped working. I have to just kind of fix it. Give me 1 sec. Okay. Or actually, I know a better way I could do this one. This should do it. Nice. Very clean. Okay. Just one run through. Okay. Yeah, let's get started. Good morning, T-Wall. Good morning, y'all. Oh, if I go here. Today's the Robin Hood day for the event. That will be absolutely the highlight for a lot of people. It will be the highlight for me. Um, how we play it, I'm not entirely sure yet, but I want to look at a few stocks today. Um, the semis have seemed to bounce back just for today. I do have to use the restroom, so let me be right back. I swear, it's like this when I had a 9 to 5 too. It's like when work starts, I have to like use the bathroom. But I'll be right back. My bad, my bad. Hope you're having a fantastic hump day. The show will start shortly. All right, good morning. My bad. I don't know. I can't control it, but thankful for you guys to be here. Also thankful that I'm my own boss. This is people ask me what are some of your like favorite perks of like working on doing something on your own. Dude, I can poop whenever I want. Be right back. I mean, the be right back slide does say I could be in the bathroom or getting to the door. Okay. Today's Wednesday. Yesterday was a pretty red day for at least me. I don't know about you guys, but yesterday was pretty red for me. Getting a lot of those gains back today. I hope it continues, but we have to sort of manage our portfolios. Yeah, you guys can hear me. Okay. We have to manage our portfolios in a way that assumes that it can happen again. So we have to play some risk reward mini games, and go from there. Probably do it this way. Palo Alto Networks is down by $4. Let's look at the cybersecurity industry. Seems seems not bad. Seems like it's flattening maybe. Nothing has necessarily changed. I might close this. I might close this. I might. Microsoft is down $4. That's kind of a big deal. We'll take a look at that. Yeah, Microsoft continuing the downtrend. Getting paid off pretty huge. Closing that earlier cash secured put for a loss. So I feel very, very good. I had a cash secured put on Microsoft that I closed out for a 4-digit number. Right over here. I took a $1,500 loss on it. But it could be much worse right now. So the 100%, the minus 100% trigger idea is paying off pretty big. I converted this into a long call play because I liked the max loss of the long call being $640 instead of like, thousands of more dollars. So pretty happy with that. I did a very similar type of trade with Robinhood. Took wins on call debit spreads, took wins on cash secured puts. And then instead of holding on to also shares that I bought raw, I just converted those into calls with a much smaller max loss. Slow-mo, good morning. Sentinel 1 is also cooling off, but this is a very in the money buy right. I highly suspect that this gets actually called away. This will be about 25K freed up. Rumble kind of chilling. AMD trading sideways now. It is pretty deep in the money now. Nothing. It doesn't seem like AMD's in a downtrend anymore. Or, sorry, it doesn't seem like AMD's in an uptrend anymore. It was recovering pretty well here. But then it broke the trend going back down. This low is lower than this low. Some of you guys are like, well, you're not even looking at the candlestick chart. It's like, you really don't need even the candlestick to be able to tell that. Just trying to keep it as simple as possible. Here's the candlestick now. Yeah. Definitely a breaking of the trend. This is more than 100% down. How much delta is that? That's my second highest delta position. I could just say, hey, you know what? I guessed wrong. You know, this was a good bet that just went wrong. And I could get out now. It would be following my minus 100% system, which has paid off for me for Microsoft. I could also just close one. But I don't like that. I'm kind of being gray about it. I'll revisit. I'll actually just keep this open because I know I'll go back to it. So we'll order it like this again. AMD. Robinhood. I have 4 call debit spreads. And yeah, I really don't see why I would not hold on to these going into earnings. Or not, I keep calling it earnings, the Robinhood event. Master Jado says Canadian inflation went down to 1.6% this quarter. Apparently, all my Canadian stuff is flying this week. Hell yeah! Congrats. Have you considered trading SPY, QQQs, CCs, and CSPs weeklies for somewhat consistent cash flow? I did for a very short period of time. I've contemplated it because I thought, hey, that would probably help my portfolio become even more, or maybe not even more is the right way to phrase it, but it would help my portfolio become more consistent. I don't like how expensive they are, you know, for the amount of premium that I can get. For example, if I were to do a SPY cash secured put, that takes up the same amount of capital as like 4 NVIDIA CSPs. and it's not even close on the amount of premium that I receive. So, I mean, I would rather trade into my strengths of being able to trade semis until maybe semis are not as good, and then when I start revisiting trading stocks like Nike, Costco, I don't know, Target, then yeah, I would probably more highly consider doing CCs on SPY or QQQ. But I feel like I have a house edge of somewhat. Do you think it will go down more? I think that's me talking about AMD. I think it can. I think it definitely can. The difference being for like AMD and Nvidia for me right now is that AMD is number 2, right? Like I have really leaned into just like leaning into like the number 1. You know, I think for in terms of grocery stores slash shopping, for as a retail experience, or maybe a retail experience is not the right way to phrase it either. I think just as a retail customer, Costco has the number 1 spot for that. When it comes to semiconductors, Nvidia is number 1. In terms of brokerages, the number 1 public one is Robinhood IMO. Number 1 brokerage that isn't public to trade, Tastyworks or Tasty Trade. And hence why I use it. You know, if I truly thought Robinhood was like the number 1 brokerage, I'd be trading on there. But yeah, this chart on AMD tells me that we have a good come on, go. Is it this? Yeah. This is the 5-year time frame chart, but you can see what I'm talking about. And then we're just starting this next. We could be potentially starting this next leg down. Could be. Something to be said though is the MACD did cross over, like right here, but it's making another trip back down. It could cross back down too, or even just touch the signal line and continue bouncing. You guys can't see it actually. Oops. I have an entire MACD chart on the bottom here, like that. Right here. This blue line is the MACD line. And if it crosses the signal line, it's a good thing. Crosses the signal line, good thing. Crosses signal line, good thing. Like the EMA, it's a lagging indicator. It needs data to be fed into it. It doesn't predict where it's going to go, and it needs past data to be able to display it. But what I like about MACD is that it can potentially find reversals faster than RSI. Let's see if I could bring RSI back up here for me to make a point. Maybe this is RSI reaching a low. This is an example of maybe RSI working. No, right here. Yeah, like, for example, let me just double check if it comes through right here. So this blue line and red line are pretty close together. But whenever the blue line attempts to or does cross the signal line, it means that there's like really good momentum going forward for the moving average. RSI kind of just tells you like, oh, you know, the strength of this price is getting really strong or really high or really up. So just be aware of that. But the way that you read MACD in this scenario, when the signal line is about to cross over, or the MACD line is about to cross over the signal line, is, hey, this can run, like this can keep going up, and it does. It doesn't work every time, but you can see that same sort of effect here, where RSI is kind of just like going and trudging through the middle. But you see right here, when the MACD line crosses over the signal line, there's another huge run up too. So you couldn't have read that here. This here is just, you know, RSI cooling off. You could also argue maybe this is like a descending wedge, and then maybe that's bullish, you know, descending wedge, bullish. But it's about just picking what works for you and what makes sense to you. To me, I think MACD makes a lot more sense to have than RSI. I think it will always make sense to have both, but like I don't like making decisions with every single one of my ideologies in place, you know. You find the ones that you really like that are particular to the trade, and you just go. Meaning, like, if I like RSI, I like MACD, I like EMA, I like maybe volume weighted price. I'm not gonna put all of it on the chart at one time, but I'll just have like this default view. Oogla boogla, that's correct. For AMD, what about letting you get a sign and reopening a CC for the same strike? There's a possibility of that. Something I'm considering is that it's gonna be like about 30K tied up in stock, and that's okay too. But there's a chance that the covered calls don't make sense, and then we also have earnings coming up in 2 weeks. So, as much as I love AMD, I really don't love playing earnings. I think it's really scary. Nvidia bounce looks kind of nice. Let me actually just quickly just double check. So I sold the 165 put, and I collected $400. So my break even is 161. I get assigned on it. Yeah, that assuming it doesn't go down lower, it actually does pay a good bunch. Wow, I didn't know it was like this volatile. Okay. Robinhood is also taking off. Maybe buy a little put for AMD. Yes, dude. Dillo. Yes. Okay, when? You know what? Yeah, that's an amazing idea. So I think the plan is to we're just gonna assume the worst situation, okay? AMD, we're gonna get assigned. We don't have to wait till we're assigned to buy the puts. So I think I'm gonna make this more of like a checklist. AMD is bouncing. I see what you mean. Nvidia is also bouncing right now. And you know what else we haven't seen it for a while? Wow, she hasn't done anything. Oh, dude, I'll be working something on something at night, and then my like, okay, I gotta really go to bed indicator is when I see the Central and East Coast Discord fellas start messaging the Discord in the morning. And I'm just like, oh my God, there's no way Slow just messaged the Discord right now. I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. This past week has been just super hard. It's just been like grueling. Like putting these like final, it's hard making YouTube videos for me, bro. It's a very difficult process, and I have to like essentially just get it done and finish by Friday. But yeah, holy moly. So that's a good call out though. The puts. Well, Micron is up 4%. That would probably make Nala pretty happy. Yeah, honestly, I don't see anything that like anything new I want to do. If anything, I think we make the judgment call of do we open new ones. Dude, puts are pretty expensive. $165. I could buy the at the money put, or two of them, making this effectively a put credit spread that I bought or that I legged into. Reduces my max profit down to $200 because this trade, or honestly, really like $100. But this would be full protection from this going down anymore. See, like that feels safe and that feels okay to do, but I don't know. Making $100 off of 30K doesn't feel good either. I feel like I would be reinforcing a bad decision there or something. The put is definitely smaller than my CSP. My CSP is here at 165. I would be attempting to buy 2 of these. I could make them just cheaper. I could do this. I mean, this is like... I mean, maybe this actually does make sense in the sense that like this is where I would actually start caring if it went down this low. Because AMD, say for example, goes down like $1 or $2 tomorrow. That's not like the end of the world. It would suck. It'd be still kind of scary. I could buy 2 of these or 1 of these. Or maybe 2 of the middle ones. You would go farther down. I think if I did this one, it keeps the initial play intact. Like I think 30K for $500 is not bad. And the way I get that calculation, just like just in case, I sold 2 of these AMD cash secure puts for $405 each. So I collected $810. And it's up to me to buy it back for cheaper. And I still can. There's like 9 more days left on this contract. Gamma risk is a bit high, so I want to add, or I want to subtract delta. Is a good way to put it. I want to subtract delta so that gamma risk is a little bit less. And then me buying these 2 long puts as insurance. I guess worst case scenario is the stock trading flat. I buy these stock trades flat and my insurance does not win, and I've only increased my losses where standing still would have actually helped me. Dude, just like looking at this chart, it's like, do you think AMD can keep going down? Like, yes. uh, wait, what happened? Hmm. No, my CSP does not put me at my cost basis below the current price. That's the main issue. My current price got blown out through, or my potential cost basis got blown through. I sold the 165 for $400 each. Yeah, it gets me down to 161. Current price of the of AMD is 156. Yeah. So that's what makes buying puts more attractive, is that any loss from here, I really feel it. But puts really help offset with that. Will Ivy Crush burn those debit spreads on Hood tomorrow? I have debit spreads out as well. It depends on what happens. So if your price is above your long call, it's a good thing. Um, if the price is below the long call, there's just a really good chance that the trade will not work. Um, if it's far above the long call, you already know that trade will be okay. Um, but yeah, if it's close, like if tomorrow's event for Robinhood is, or today's event for Robinhood is just like kind of like whatever, and the price doesn't change, there's still a good chance that you come out ahead because the debit spreads are on. Um, but then there's this like unrealized loss that you have on the short call, but you would then theoretically win on those because again the price didn't go much above your short call, meaning it's going to expire out the money and you'll be able to collect the premiums there. And that's why debit spreads are pretty good in the sense that like you cap your gains, but it's cheaper to get into. But it comes at a cost. It could give you a false sense of security as well. Yeah, you bought the 2350 and you sold the 2450. So as long as it's above 2350, the number the exact number is actually a little bit higher, but I don't know how much you got in for. But if it's above 2350, you're going to make a profit. And then you don't make any more money than if Robinhood goes above 2450. And then say for example Robinhood goes down. Oh, yours is in the money already. I see, because I'm just like now looking at Robinhood here. Yeah, I would think that you just what happens if you buy an in the money call debit spread and then the price like goes up? Oh, because the intrinsic value of the long call goes up faster than the intrinsic value of the out the money call. Or maybe that's not actually possible. Out the money calls don't have intrinsic value. Um, but it outpaces the extrinsic value. That would be more correct. Ooh, all this terminology is so. I cannot believe how much of the terminology that I know, despite like not reading like financial books. I just read my first one this year, but like our brains are crazy. AMD dealer positioning highest at 150 between now and November OPEX. Does that mean what does that mean? Give me the ELI 5 on dealer positioning. I think you explained it one more time. I'm gonna need a refresher. Just give me the sickest one-liner. Maybe one in the money put and one further down. Dude. I don't think I can do that one. Yeah, I don't think I could do that one. My reasoning is that would cost me about like let me clear this trade. That would cost me about $626. And I'm paying $626 to almost just break even. I'd rather just close this out for a loss, and then move this to a trade I feel better in. If I'm gonna do it that way, because again, like what happens if the stock trades flat and I've just now. The odds are not good. It sounds good, right? Like I stopped the bleeding, but what if the bleeding theoretically stops and I continue the bleeding with the puts? Just to break almost even. You know, I would make like $180, but that doesn't sound good, right? Like that doesn't make sense. Basically, VIX spikes. Probability is highest for AMD to hit 150, according to dealers. And getting above 160 is going to be very difficult for the next 3 weeks, even if VIX drops. I think it's like it's out the money puts or nothing. I want at least $500 at the end of this trade. I want at least, or maybe that's just a little too greedy. You know, I want at least $400. That would be ideal. So the 2 puts I buy, each one should be maximum of 250. Call credit spread. That might be safer because I like the odds of that call credit spread. The odds are good. If it hit max a loss, that might also be okay. Chill 7814. Good morning. Thank you for the follow. Kind of in a think tank right now. But thank you for following regardless. This seems... The main thing I don't like about this call credit spread is that I don't have protection on the way down. Or not a lot. $100 sounds like a lot, but it's really not a lot. And it does cap my gains by half. So I'm receiving $100, which again to me, not a whole lot. And then I'm capping my gains to about 50%. It doesn't sound like I'd rather buy the 2 out the money puts, I think, and just not cap my gains. Kaput, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Yeah, this one's call credit spreads aren't it. This is definitely like put territory. How much delta are the 2 puts? 82. AMD's RSI is back at like July levels. You guys remember July? Death cross on the 3-month 1-hour chart. Oh, dude, I'm getting like very strong. Just close it for red. You know, just like it's all right, man. It's like I was wrong. Like my bad. Ooh. We never admit failure. Eh. I don't know. I go through like a different coaching philosophy with my jiu-jitsu coach. It's like, yeah, we failed today, but it's all good. We'll get them next time. What could we do better? Me exiting for about like the same ratio here worked. This one worked. I was down like $1,500 on this Microsoft cash secured put. And then I closed it because I didn't like the chart. I didn't like where we were going. And then I sold it for minus 100%, or like a little bit more than that even. I let it bleed even more. It's a minus $1,000 loss right now, and I collected $800 on it. So it's a little bit over 100% here too. Yeah, AMD used to be my second most successful trade. Here, just in case if I navigated there too quick. These are my best performance stocks of this year so far. Like this could all change any moment, but doesn't sound bad. You do seem heavily allocated to semis. Yeah, that's like sort of vibe I'm getting is like if I close out of this for $1,000 loss, if semis keep going up, I'll still benefit from Nvidia. It's just I was just wrong about the timing here. Later, Jado. I'm not able to produce a chart that makes the situation look good for the next 30 days. AMD is giving me the most drama and premium. It's really choppy, and the chops last a while. I would agree. You know what? Because I also feel that way. I also feel like I cannot draw that many good conclusions about AMD. I'm going to go through the copium blender. I am going to go and try to find something that I'm looking forward to. See if that changes my mind. Like, I guess like a good question for me right now is like, if I didn't have an AMD position, would I go in right now? And the question is, hell no. This chart is butt cheeks. I mean, maybe we can interpret this as like a double bottom. But again, this is just day after day. So today could just be like the smallest dead cat bounce ever. We are back at September 23rd of last month. Yeah, so we're in the mid-September range. Right now we're in mid-October. This is, just like the third week of September. We're also at the 50 EMA. I do like this like this bear trap that looks like that looked like it happened. $156 looks like pretty well defended. If I have my thesis be around like, okay, you know what? It crosses down below 156, I'll get out. I think that makes me feel pretty good. But my fear is that we gap down. But maybe I should be okay with taking that risk. Gapping down. Because I am only like 3% maybe from breaking even. I think I just have to make the call. If 156 is truly where I cut the cord. Until earnings. Yeah, I mean, ideally, I don't have to play earnings. That's something also I have to keep in mind. I don't want to have to do it. MACD crossed over. Not a bullish signal for sure. Bearish signal. Heading back down. This is also year to date. You know, I'm talking more like on a monthly time frame. It would take a lot of bearish movement. Because the MACD is also crossing back over. Or it looks like it's going to go back up. The gap down is also something to point out. Is like this could be a gap that could be filled later. This gap was already filled by this Pinocchio candle. I mean, there's a world where this gap gets filled and we go down to 150. And that would really suck, to be honest. Knowing that I could have gone out today and it gapped down to 150. The bet is okay. So I'm glad we talked through this because like I think my bet is, do I think AMD will gap down or not? Because I think I'm okay with staying in and losing money up until 156. I think no matter what happens, if I'm allowed to see 156 tick and then I'm allowed to get out, I think I'm truly happy with whatever happens. But where I think most upset about the trade is if we go into the bell, I don't end up doing anything because I'm waiting for 156 to hit, and then the next morning AMD gaps down to like 153. That would hurt me the most. That would feel really bad. Okay. It's like an Nvidia just hit like the biggest reset button, like just so it could keep going up. That's insane. Do you think Nvidia will eventually surpass like the 140-ish barrier? You know, I got this like pretty I got this like pretty I would say, you know, desperate is a probably a really good way to put it. Not in a derogatory way, but there was a younger guy that messaged me that had basically gone all in on NVIDIA 140 calls that actually expire this Friday. Um, and he basically asked me like, hey, what should I do? And he's all in on cause. It's like a I think 20 or 30K position. They're really young, so this is a lot of money to them. I told him, I think Nvidia has gone up a lot in the very recent weeks, but I think the decision that you make right now does not matter. I think the money that you'll save by exiting now, um, it's amazing, and exiting now could be really good for you. Um, but what happens if it shoots up? After you sell, like, would you be able to live with that? Are you gonna be able to trade normally after that? Are you gonna be in a good headspace after that? Told him the other thing too is like if you stayed in, it didn't shoot up. Um, it didn't shoot up, and then you ended up losing just more money. Like, how would you feel after that? Or what if you stayed in and it shot up, and then you were able to exit for a profit, a really great profit? Like, you'd probably just be negative reinforcing these really bad habits of like going all in. I wrote this in a much more eloquent way, but I essentially said like you have to learn the lessons that are being taught to you right now, or you're just doomed to be in the same spot again. And he told me like, oh, I'm willing to join Patreon. I'm willing to help donate if you answer this email. And I write on the bottom of the email like, don't worry about joining Patreon or anything. I'm always happy to help reason through things if it's like if you feel like you have no one else to talk to. So yeah, that's just of mind. So when you bring up the 140ish barrier, I personally don't think it will cross above 140 right now. Maybe later, maybe like next week, but definitely not in like the next few days. Today's a great setup for that to happen next week. But asking for 140 again or hitting a double top by end of week is kind of nuts. Or rather, you said eventually surpass the 140ish barrier. I don't think that happens this week. If it does, that's great. I would love for that to happen, but I just don't think that's going to happen this week. Next week, it's on the table in my perspective. Nvidia, I feel very solid on. AMD, I don't. Trying to reason through if me closing out the position is just loss aversion. I don't think so, because again, I did this exact same play here. And some would think that Nvidia would pull up AMD, but I'm gonna go one extra mile here. Dude, look at this divergence that's happening right now. Insane, man. This is the difference between number 1 and number 2. This is if you're not first, you're last type of pattern. Both affected by the macro market in the morning, and then there's just a clear shift in people like deciding to go with Nvidia. Dillo, that's a great question. That's usually how I help other people reason through selling for a loss. Um, I think what would make me feel better is just getting my delta down lower after a scare like yesterday. So when I say lower, I don't mean like back to like sub 300, but I think it would help me a lot by just getting me down below 400. That is the main reason why I'd be doing it. I don't know if I would look to put that money anywhere else. I definitely would not want to put it in Microsoft, not in PanW. Yeah, I'm getting out of AMD. Like, why would I go back in? CrowdStrike, I feel okay in. I could put it in Hood. I could just take the $1,000 loss, 30K of capital off the table, and just put some of it in Hood. I could do that. That doesn't sound bad. Mr. Nip, Google, no way. No way. I don't I kind of don't like where Google's at right now. I can't put my finger on it. Um Honestly, it might be because I'm watching a little bit less YouTube recently. And I don't know, maybe it's like, it's honestly because I've also been the reason why I've been watching less YouTube is because the ad blocker is like it's slowing down YouTube, or rather YouTube is slowing down itself because of the ad blocker, and it's really annoying. I don't know, kind of waiting for some company in Y Combinator to just be like, we're creating the next YouTube. Rather put AMD money into Nvidia. You might be onto something there. Like, even though my Nvidia position is large, I think I'd rather be wrong trading Nvidia than be wrong trading AMD. I think that's a actually excellent way to reason through that. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna. AMD goes up. You guys are welcome. I'm gonna take the 100. About 100% loss. It's a little bit more than that. I would definitely rather put it in Nvidia, but let me reason through this trade first. 990. I don't remember if it was last week or this week. When did I close this thing? Closed 10-7. Yeah, that was last week. Oh my god. Oof. It's okay. We live on. We live on. Buy 'em out. God, that feels good. So this makes 2 trades that I have. This makes 2 trades that I've exited at minus 100%. This AMD cash secured put here. And this Microsoft cash secured put here. So we'll see where that goes. Probably a lack of due diligence, but that Intel and AMD doubling down to x86 doesn't install a lot of confidence. Yeah, I mean, product diversity is good. And whatever that new is it Lunar Lake? Whatever that new technology is for x86 being more energy efficient, that's kind of a big deal, but I don't know. It seems like ARM is all the rage. Joshua Sweeney, hello, good morning. CMG looks decent. I'm not a huge fan of I'm a huge fan of Chipotle. I love eating Chipotle. But I wouldn't consider myself a huge Chipotle stock fan. It doesn't pay enough. I'm also terrified for any sort of news piece coming out talking about like, oh, E. coli or something. Like, oh my god. I cannot imagine what it'd be like being a shareholder during that time. That must be so scary. My delta is down to 344. This feels pretty good with where I'm at. Max Payne on Robinhood is $24. With the event today, man, dude, $24 does not pay anything. Repo Store, good morning. Scarier than China starting a war and semis going down? That's a great point. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Tensions with all the exports and bans, maybe tariffs, we all traded during that time when that was a very big headline piece. There's something about Robinhood that I want to do. I want to play Robinhood. I think that would be my last topic for today. We got out of AMD for a loss. We're staying inside NVIDIA. Just being thankful for where we are in our life right now and where our portfolio is. But yeah, let's play Robinhood just a little bit more. So I leaved probably like 100 delta. I think I was at like 440 or 430 maybe. So yeah, we'll say like 90 delta. So if I move that, if I add 90 delta here with hood, that'd be like a forward bet of taking something that will lose. Put that into the future. So if I bought like an actual leap. Wow, look how many, dude, look how many. Damn. I'm thinking IPO price. Dude, the announcements could be so... There's so much hype around it, man. I just Googled Google, of course. IPO price is what? Oh, dude. Could you imagine? Could you imagine if these hit, dude? The IPO price calls. Could you imagine? Like post earnings. IPO price. Oh my God. Look at this. So we're kind of just chilling. We're looking at the option chain. There's some open interest here, but there's like a pretty big gap here. Slippage starts becoming an issue. Not that many people in these trades. And then you see 35 bucks. 1,810. Is that how you read that number? At 35. That's the IPO price. I saw it too, you know, like I mean everyone's kind of just like looking at it. The bottom of the IPO day. It seems possible, you know? It doesn't seem impossible. It seems possible. Like they announce private equity funding, that's like pretty huge. Like I'm able to finally invest into Stripe and Plaid, like sign me up. Or like companies no longer having to IPO anymore. It's like a pretty big deal. You just get funding through Robinhood. And Robinhood being the I don't imagine any other brokerage doing what Robinhood can possibly do. Robinhood is, I don't know, everything that they're able to jump through with the tech and the law team there. Oh, I could just be a total degenerate and just like. Yeah, for this is like 40 bucks, bro. What's $40? You know. This one is the end of week. So that would just be purely a bet on if it going up. Maybe I include earnings. Including earnings actually makes it, I think, a bit more expensive. Almost too expensive. I would think that like maybe I just wow, there's a lot of there's not a whole lot of puts being bought. That is for sure. There's definitely a lot more calls. Okay. Like I feel like it's degenerate, but I also feel like it has a good chance of working. I just don't understand why Hood has a big upside as a broker over, say, Schwab, because Schwab is boring. Schwab is boring. Schwab is old. No one young wants to sign up with Schwab. Schwab definitely has to change their name. It sounds really childish, right? That point of view probably sounds so simplistic. It sounds really dumb. But when you are fighting for market share of the younger investors as they get older, in high school, people aren't sharing their Schwab referral codes. Kids are telling each other to sign up to get that free stock. That's huge. Robinhood is also just in Netflix documentaries. It has a lot of ethos to it. Where Schwab is just known as like, oh, this is just the what the old people used to use. You know? I like Schwab. I think Schwab is fine. My stepdad uses Schwab. Again, nothing wrong with Schwab. I think just Robinhood has definitely the edge. So you ask like what the moat is like you have it like a very competent tech team. And tech right now is very important. Schwab taking over Thinkorswim was the worst thing. They needed it to catch up. I don't know about Thinkorswim being powered on Schwab infrastructure because I think the main complaint is it's slower now. I think that's why honestly Tasty has gotten more popular as of late. But yeah. They do mergers and acquisitions, right? I think it goes up with lower interest rates. Or is that like they do margin and something else? Had good earnings too. Hmm. Something I could tell you right now is personally, and of course I'm gonna be biased, okay, because um this is like my trade. I feel really good about this winning. I feel so good about it that I want to actually like make sure that I continue to win after 28.5. That is where my headspace is at right now. The trickiest part about leaps to me is like how often would I actually add on to the leap? You know, I don't have a good income. So like I love the thought about Robinhood leaps, but I'm really buying into what Major's been talking about with buying power efficiency. Um God. If I had a 9 to 5 job, dude, I'm pretty sure dude, I would be killing it in the market right now. Just the confidence I would have from having a paycheck. But it's also okay because maybe I would have gotten overconfident and one of the two rogue waves down in August or April would have got me. So, everything happens for a reason. Um, I love the chance of the hood leap working. I just don't think it's efficient use of my capital. I kind of like the idea of cash secured puts, but I'd rather have the idea of unlimited upside. So that just tells me calls short dated or longer dated. I think longer dated for sure. Not like a leap, but like maybe like 60 to 90 days. And then I think the last question is, do I make that into a debit spread? So let's look around. So we're going to look at like, we're going to play earnings. We're going to include the call in the earnings. Go to the nearest monthly. We'll say 30 days. Tom Sosnoff made bank on TOS to TD and then Schwab. Oh, is he part of that trade on all 3 occasions? That's pretty cool. That's cool. I know he created Thinkorswim and then sold it to TD. But maybe he gets like a stipend or something for it going to Schwab. That's cool. That probably makes sense because he probably still had shares or something in whatever TD stock or whatever. When you say you'd be killing in the market if you had a job, are you saying you'd be more aggressive and use more buying power? Yes. Yes. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Right now, I have to treat my account like it's a blessing that I'm able to put some money in if I really wanted to, but I've kind of been just keeping it on the side for like super emergency money. But yeah, I have to kind of just treat this account not getting any more money into it. So I have to trade a little bit more carefully. Or at least more efficiently. Like I can't just park this money into SPY and then kind of just hope for the best. Because yeah, there's gonna be times where I need to withdraw. And ideally I beat the market so I can increase my returns with the money that I have. Because otherwise, just theoretically, I'm just like falling behind everyone else that has a job that does contribute to just SPY. There are so many people that have calls that I feel like it would have a lot of trouble going up for Robinhood. This many people winning is kind of crazy. I mean, I don't think it'll go down, but like it blowing past all of this open interest, that's a lot. You know what? I'll think about this. I kind of have to use the restroom anyway. I'll see if I put one on. If you want to check on your own accord, oh no, well that wouldn't be public. Yeah, I mean it's not important anyway. The Discord will know when I put on the hood trade. It would most likely be within the next hour, if at all. I don't think I would apply this trade like right before the bell. I'll make up my mind in a few minutes. But I just want to say thank you for everyone. Oh, but spotted with a question. I'll answer that question as I end the stream. Thank you for all for being here. It means a lot. Taking time out of your workday. I'll be on tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We'll most likely go through what Robinhood announced. Kind of give my perspective and my opinion on the new features and stuff. Bespada with the closing statement / question says or asks, what would be your plan if, let's say, landed a job that pays, I don't know, $2K every month? That would be effectively doubling my most predictable income. Patreon, I get like 1.7 maybe every month. Doubling that to 2K a month would probably let me be confident enough to put $1,000 into my main account every month. I just don't have that buffer right now at the moment. But that would be a safe enough buffer where I feel like I'd be able to start contributing to my main account and not like putting my everyday into danger. Mr. Nip, later, brother. Happy Hood Day. Control Freaks, thanks for stopping by. Mr. 88, later. Nip, peace, peace. Head out, head out. What a day. Getting a good bounce on NVIDIA, seeing where the market's going to go. Hood event later. And, yeah. It's a foggy outside for where I'm at and reminds me of home. Making me miss my mama just a little bit, but I'll call her later today. Love y'all. Thank you for stopping by, and